I think I accidentally created a new speedrun category which no one will ever try. I managed to do it just as a segment run, just to prove, well, to see how it is. Of course it's possible a perfect 30k run, but it was much harder than I expected with the Rift Workers. So in the future I'd like to compare perfect 30k runs with different squads. I'm just doing a commentary on top of the segment speedrun, which we could call it OG 30k run, or a fast Ralph, hard, fast and perfect Ralph. Why Ralph? Because I'm going to simulate the condition which you boot up the game for the first time, you only have Ralph, no upgrades, plus the Rift Workers of course, and you need to do the island in order to unlock them. So that's the idea. Can you do a perfect 30k run as your starting run? But I'll explain everything in detail. As usual, there will be timestamps below. The basic idea was to make it interesting, make an interesting video, not to get the lowest time. So I'm not starting too fast, but of course my goal was just to get the result. Flame Behemoths and Stage Doka, I just edited down a 5-hour run in less than 1 hour, and yeah, there's a lot of empty time, which I'll try to avoid it by going to the main menu and then coming back, as you see at the end of each mission. The Rift Workers, very beginner friendly, but of course at the beginning no one expects to avoid all the damage, probably because the game would be boring if you could do it on the first run, but you punch, you push, you can move a lot of back. Here there was a mistake and I had to fix it later instead of doing the reset turn, but I will use it, the turn reset. When you play on hard with a lot of alpha vec in the next islands, things can get very tough. Here I'm going to skip and then move back, so that avoids the loading transition. So yeah, definitely a good starting squad. Not the best squad for this, but we'll compare it in the future after I tried with other squads. So I never tried to do a 30k run with them, and I was surprised at how hard it is. Starting weapons with Rift Workers do not scale too well, higher difficulty and late game, and the extra damage is very expensive. So I didn't even check what the island leader is, since I'm on this fixed path, but we have the Exploding Psion, which is a good sign because that was the toughest Psion, and having it on the first island on Archive, it's much easier. I also tried starting from the other islands, but Detritus is more or less like Archive. Instead, R.S.T is by far the toughest one, and also Pinnacle is not as tough objectives. But every time I try to play fast on R.S.T, even trying to play slower with the Rift Workers, I had some issues. So I decided to split the run in 5 parts, more or less 1 per island, but I'm taking a break after Archive and then in the middle of the other island. The first segment here is much longer, and then there will be 2 separate segments on R.S.T. And yeah, I'm still practicing with the skipping the transition, so I'm not so fast. But what was interesting was how the decision you make change when you are forced to play fast. And here you see the limited movement on the punch mech already made this much harder than it should be. And yeah, I'm trying to find the right spot, but again, This was just my 5th attempt, so the goal was not the time. I'm not too worried about the time because it will it change a lot depending on the random factors. So just need to try it over and over to get the faster missions. But yeah, the environmental effects are very helpful for us, but not very helpful for the timer. So that makes archive much easier and also slower. But for now, nothing to worry. Nothing to worrying, and the last turn I just skip it. We'll get more XP, but yeah, different mindset right now. And in 5 minutes we are ready to the last normal mission, and we got the mines. So yeah, very lucky. We also got the time pod, of course. Now it's guaranteed, the first island. And the webbing is a problem. And here I, at the first time, I had to just stop and think, because yeah, it's not something. Into Reach is not very well suited to speedruns, which usually use the easier difficulty so that you have less back, less animation, but also less difficult decisions. But here I need to stop because I was trying to find a way to free my mech without destroying the mine, but I couldn't find it. So I just focus on blocking. Of course, if you want to, and also, yeah, I'm on fire. But yeah, I didn't find anything better. And when you also got the level up, and when you block, of course, you get less back on the field, which means much faster turns. So I'm going to block when I can, but the Rift workers don't have much mobility, just 3 and 3 starting out. So that makes blocking much harder. And of course, another pilot like Archie could help a lot. We'll see if we can find him. I don't think so. I didn't use it anyway, but got the level up also on Ralph. But this is the both the finale for the 100% playthrough that I started with this channel 1 year ago, and the start of a different way of playing the game. There I just punched the cannon mech to get him out of the way, but added buildings immune, and then move on to the Hornet leader. So here I wasn't sure what to do, and I took way too much time thinking if it was worth it to destroy the Firefly or start damaging the boss. The first boss is very tough because you don't have much offensive capabilities, and yeah, the island leaders are still the same HP regardless on the order of the island. So I wanted for the safe side. If you want a perfect island, you need to kill everyone. And also now the Psion is making things very tough. So when at this point I thought I had to restart. Was the I guess the first big hurdle. I didn't see immediately what to do, because if I punched the firefly, I would get it would explode, so I had to prioritize the Psion, and also pushed my own mech away, so I could not block, but at least is alive, otherwise would be dead. And I put the other mech on fire, all of that just because the Psion was that firefly could not be killed with the Psion alive. So that was the toughest point of the first island, and but I have extra HP on Ralph, so I got the upgrade, so I'm not too worried about the fire. And now I just need to wait and try to block. Maybe I could have blocked twice, but I was worried about the HP, and if you need to stop and count the HP, everything takes much longer. So this is the last turn, usually a very fast one, so I decided just to block, and it's tough to ignore the Vec. Usually I try to kill as many as possible to get to get maximum XP, but of course I want to skip it. And then I get, well, networked armor is not too helpful, but Prospero is very helpful, since the Rift Workers have very limited mobility, so I already put Prospero there. Then I will move him around because it's very important, but Phase Cannon is just an upgrade on my own, I think, Taurus Cannon, the starting weapon. Also the Vice Fist, but I'm not going to use it too much. But selling a pilot and keeping the rest to get to 3-star on the next island. So for now I just add the Phase Cannon, and then get some that's the problem with, I did not recognize this harvester configuration. The point is that I was looking at the difference, and the Taurus Cannon has more damage, but of course phasing through building is much more helpful, and then at the end I will give up on the Taurus Cannon. But the problem with speedrun is that also there's a blob on this island, but I didn't notice it at first. But R.S.T was the toughest one, so hit them hard and fast, which was the title actually of my first videos. I made the Nitro Breach, so I started from scratch and worked my way up to get all the achievements in just 11 runs. The minimum number you can do, there are 10 squads, but the custom one, I think, or the randomized one, I think the custom one couldn't be done in one single run. But I'm missing one last piece to get to the 100%. Well, aside from getting the hard victory for every single squad, 2, 3, 4 island run. But I'm not worried about that. I just needed Harold, so I was missing Harold, and I found him here, I think on R.S.T, and that was the reason I decided to keep it, because beating R.S.T was hard enough, and then getting Harold seemed like the perfect way, even though this is not a technically it's not a legal speedrun, but it is I'm keeping the best segments, basically. So the first time I managed to win an island, I would keep the save for the next attempt. But R.S.T is by far the toughest island, and doing second is not too bad. as a first, third island stopped me a bunch of times before, especially with the rift workers, which are not particularly good in this environment, and we already have too many vec, and yeah, just it's become as tough as the final boss on Archive already. Don't remember what I did now, because yeah, we got the Hornets, which are the ones that dealt more damage to me, but yeah, having the Vec kill each other was the only thing that saved me there. And of course I'm not going to pick the toughest mission, aside from being too long, because there are more Vec. But yeah, I will definitely get destroyed if I try to play like this on the other mission. So we'll get a lot of grid defense, which we will not need at all, because I never get shot, so I never get any building hit. Of course, if they resist, I don't count it as a perfect run, even though it is. Already in picked up the pod, which should be Harold, if I'm not mistaken. Already, yeah, every mission here is tough as the final mission, final boss in Archive, and it's very hard. Here there are only a few buildings, but if you get the situation got out of hand, it becomes impossible. Like this, the Scarab is in a tough spot, so if my punching mech would have been too far away to reach either the Hornet or the Scarab, would be an issue. But yeah, at some point I'll need to reset, I guess, which is another reason I'm not keeping the true timer, I guess, of the mission. But I might do it again. I want to try the other islands first, and then get back to the rift workers after having tried the other squad, because they seem the rift workers seems much harder than I remember, much harder than the other squads. But again, this was my first attempt at a 30k run with the rift workers. And yeah, when the Vec get in the corner like that, I lost, I guess, half of my buildings on my old runs. Of course, not 30k run, but I remember losing a lot of buildings in a corner like that, especially on R.S.T. But yeah, we can punch, and Prospero then will help us later. So for now, I didn't use the core to activate him, I guess, but I'm just getting up more XP, and then I'll use it a lot. And yeah, good thing that I saved the pod, otherwise another thing that would lose your perfect run. Again, the skip, and this should be Harold. Yeah. So he pushes adjacent tile, but yeah, this was like a sign from above, because I waited so much. I didn't do the Frozen Titans on the I guess a few months ago, because I was waiting for Harold, and I still didn't get him after 15 or 20 rounds. And now finally I got it, so I'm going to use it. Prospero, Harold, and Ralph will be my own things. Here I'm considering that the Taurus cannon is just unnecessary at this point. It's much better to get flying or the phase shield. I'm doing now. Yeah, of course you don't want to lose so much time, but when everything is randomized, it's yeah, there's something. For example, the repair drop, I don't think I ever used it aside from the hazardous mechs. So I don't have an automatic response or what to do every time, but doesn't matter. We are going here to potentially a very bad mission. So we get the corner on R.S.T, which is very bad, and then hornets coming from below. This garden must be sterilized, as Prospero says. And yeah, these fireflies, especially the alpha ones, they are a pain because you need to push them away, but sometimes there are two buildings on the same line. So if you don't have so much pushing capabilities, that's why I thought with the rift workers would be easy, because they can push, everyone can push, some can pull. So, well, only the ranged mech can pull, but yeah, not being able to pull, I'm actually finding, I will find a grappling hook later for the brute, but not going to use it too much. The thing that helped me the most actually was to get upgrade the damage. So as I, well, as was expected, I guess, the rift workers are the starting squad. So for people, when you begin the game, it's not as clear how important moving the mech around is. You don't get, it takes I guess a couple of runs to find the right pattern. Also another very tough point because of all the alpha hornet. So I'm considering, I just realized that I can take some damage if I want, but yeah, I found a way again of using the mech against themselves. This usually you don't see it when you play with the rift workers. Something that the game teaches you later. For example, the Steel Judoka are the perfect squad for that, since you get the extra damage. But as you're starting out, you just want to deal more damage, and that's actually the way that the rift workers work best if you want to kill the mech. But to get a perfect 30k run, you need to do much more than that. And then I'm stuck, so eventually I'll put Prospero on the punch mech. In hindsight, I should have done that in the first place, because the punch mech is our main damage dealer. So for now, the cannon mech and the ranged mech can only deal 1 damage, and instead the prime mech can deal 2, and if you push against someone else, 1 extra damage. So yeah, that was easier than I thought. But I guess the pressure playing fast sometimes made me slower, but that we have the perfect counter for that. That's something that can destroy you with most squads, but if you have something like that, a ranged mech in the right position, yeah, everything is easy. And the Vecticide of region complete, and yeah, that will happen a couple of times. I'll get distracted by the text boxes. I forget to skip. But yeah, I was saying Vecticide of region complete. Move on to the next one. Here we have lightning, which, like in archive, is not speedrun friendly, but the yeah, the help is invaluable. Also, the Psion for this region is the shield one, which is yeah, will give me a lot of problems from now on. Up until now, it wasn't too bad, but interesting, the storm has disintegrated many of the Vex essential nutrients. But yeah, we'll get soon to the blob boss, which was, yeah, by far the toughest part of the run. I've given my mech what nourishment I can, so I try to block the spawning C1 since I couldn't reach. I thought for a second I thought I could reach it. Oh, with a little help from my good friend Gravity, this Vex not going anywhere. Yes, I wanted to have Harold also to read these lines, because I think he has some interesting line, but yeah, not the, I guess, nerdy part. Now, this seems an easy mission. This seems an easy spot, but I don't know where the borrowers are coming up next, and I can't kill them anyway. So they have 5 health. So even 2 punches are not enough. So after we wait for this thing, yeah, luckily one of the borrower gets in the way of the lightning, so everything makes this turn much easier. Could have been tough. I have to deal with 4 Vec, and also yeah, I almost ruined that. But yeah, we get not only easy turn but also extra XP, while the shield over there helps us. Yeah, Becca retreating, and now we go to the final one. I think I'll adjust. Yeah, I don't think I have anything to change this time. We'll see the loadout later. But yeah, I'm not having much luck with the secondary weapons. Aside from the phase cannon, I'm not getting a good weapons at all. And already we are in a tough spot, so I'm very worried about the goo. I want to deal as much damage as possible, but the Hornet requires my attention. Also, the Prime Mech, again, there should be Prospero on him, is stuck again. The Prime Mech could kill the blob just by moving to H4 to bump against the mountain if I just had Prosper on it, but I didn't think about that for a while still. That was, I don't remember if this island or the next, at the end of this island or the next. But yeah, after a bit of thinking, I give up on the, yeah, I'm trying to limit the number of Vec, but I don't think it's too bad leaving too many Vec on the field. Is usually very bad, but you also get less spawns because the game has a fixed number of enemies, so it's not too bad. Yeah, only get 1 spawn and damage the blob. And yeah, one other rare occasion where I use the Vice Fist, which is the Stijudoka weapon, and that was vital, I guess, in that situation. So I tried also original weapons run, but you need a lot of luck to get everything together. So before I invest too much time, I just wanted to experiment. This is what it is, an experiment. And the adhesive tensile strength is incredible, but yeah, that vice grip saved us because the Hornet in the corner was, yeah, it's a horrible spot. You cannot push it away, so that was yeah, vital. And now I need to, the 2 blobs are in the same spot, but in the end I don't think, yeah, while I think Ralph is already maximum XP, I guess his ability plus 2 XP per kill, but I moved the cannon back to get the bump, and then since, yeah, there's not much to do, I guess I did that and I got lucky. So you don't control when the Goos are going, but that move, I didn't know if I wanted to try it or let the Goo be destroyed by each other. But the fact that one of the Goo ended up exactly on that tile, D3, was, I think, what sealed the deal, the victory. So we have Harold, can push, and I'm not using too much actually, because and probably not, I could have switched the pilots around. I wanted to keep Ralph on the punch mech, but that's not a good idea. I'm going to keep Ralph until the end. That's the Fast Ralph speedrun, Fast Ralph challenge. But yeah, it's not on him. So now instead of pushing, I repair everyone, even though I don't think it was very necessary. But yeah, that's the thing. Harold is worried, but we destroyed more Goos than we needed, I think 7. Got kickoff boosters and Bethany. I'm not going to use either of them. I'm going to try Bethany for a while, but yeah, I'm not getting good drops. Critical shields, if the power grid goes to 1, I will have other problems before that, way before that. So I'm going to pick up the grappling hook because yeah, pulling is just as important as pushing, and I didn't know if I wanted to to give up the starting weapon, but at this point I think it's hard enough like this. So here I'm thinking about the loadout, but yeah, that should even the odds, and yeah, Ralph was right, because that was the thing that saved me at the end. Just raw damage. And yeah, I'm thinking about adding shielding, but I wanted to wait to decide, and on this mission we get even more lucky, even though I'm not going to use it. We got a special pilot, so you don't see that often. You usually unlock the secret pilot by destroying a cracked mountain with the transmitter, but only on in this island, on Zenith. On Pinnacle, Zenith is the leader, CEO. You can get the transmitter on ice. So if I destroy that ice tile, not a cracked mountain but a cracked ice, get the same effect. You get the secret pod, and yeah, something that could have really helped us, but well, we see at the end of the mission, I guess. So now I wanted to make the mech hit each other, but I just realized that I would kill with the extra damage, so I'm focusing on freezing instead. And yeah, I'm staying over there because I have enough XP. I think positioning is much more important than that. I don't get any pilot casualty, but at the time I was ready. I guess I didn't know when I was playing if I were able to keep everyone alive. Now, is it the time I restart? I think no. I'm not sure why I'm taking so long for that, but yeah, there's not much we can do. I was thinking if I wanted to reset or not. Yeah, extinguish component uprooted, but yeah, luckily that Firefly, I was very worried about the Firefly, the Hornet. I always call them Fireflies because they are, well, flying. Instead, yeah, the Hornet is luckily got frozen, so no need to worry about that. In my stats, the Hornets are the mech who dealt most damage to me, so that's why I'm very worried. And yeah, we got lucky with the objective because blocking the spawn. Well, what have we here? The ice was hiding something. And also I realized at a moment, because I thought I couldn't reach it because I needed 4 movement, but I had 4 movement. I believe it's a transmitter of some sort, so you can get it at the last turn. It's not, you don't need more time. The time pod comes up if that even is a time pod. Yeah, it is a time pod, and we'll find the Rockman. But yeah, not something we need. Ariadne, I guess, Rockwoman. Pilot is unaware of the damage done to the soil by their landing. Yeah, that's Prospero. But yeah, sometimes I just wasted time reading if I didn't recognize the dialogue, I just reading the dialogue instead of skipping or moving ahead. And yeah, up until now we just had some easy missions, but I realized with that map that I had to do a double star one. And now I got a second time pod, which I didn't know it was possible because I thought I already forgot that we are already in the third. It's not something I do 34 minutes. Usually I'm still in the first island. So I was surprised about the second time pod, but of course we are on the third island. So you get 2 time pods. The secret pod replaces one of them. The good thing about the secret pod for the perfect run is that you don't really need to pick him up. You can just ignore it and it will never appear. The objective, protect the time pod, will never appear. So here, unfortunately, I had to use the reset because I didn't know what to do. I was thinking about resetting, but in the end it wasn't too bad. I guess. I forgot that the Firefly, of course, the Firefly's attacks go through the pod tile, so if the pod gets destroyed, of course the perfect island is ruined, so I had to reset instead. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Also, the perfect situation here, just move aside, but I was worried about the blobber, so yeah, the blobber is doing some damage, and if I don't move Harold, we get destroyed, but unfortunately we have very limited damage capabilities with the Rift Walkers. Weird to say that, but yeah, if you don't do the maximum reward missions and buy a lot of cores, well, I don't start with an upgraded pilot with the extra core. It takes a while. It takes a lot of cores to bump up the damage. Also, I was stuck again, but this time Prospero was, I mean, the cannon mech was the one blocked where Prospero is, so that's more helpful. And again, the Firefly's attack goes through the time pod, so not an issue over there, but still very worried about, since I already used the reset. I just wanted to take my time for a second and yeah, try to get rid of the blobber, but yeah, to get rid of the blobber I needed to get rid of the Psion, which is, well, actually the best Psion, just one extra damage. So I decided to, yeah, I wanted to get rid of Psion, but of course I would have killed Prospero. So instead I took the damage from the exploding blob, and the blobber survived. Yeah, unfortunately. But at least we got the spawning, block of spawn, so that's the best objective for us. And at that point I just took the healing for no particular reason, and then dealt with the threat. So yeah, the blobber survived, got the reactor core. I'm hoarding them as usual. Also my other runs, I keep them until I found, I'm decided for something we really need. So if I get a good weapon, I have the cores to spare. And yeah, I was a bit worried because that's a tough 2-star mission, and yeah, don't have much room for maneuver in that situation. Also, yeah, another reason not to get Harold. I really, I should have moved the pilots, because Harold over there is not very helpful, even though actually I'm going to use him. The ranged mech going from range, Harold's ability is not very helpful. I think I start using on this mission, but yeah, for now I added the shields, which actually are the thing that will save my run. So surprisingly, the damage from the punch mech was not a surprise, but the surprise was the ability from the cannon mech. It has become basically a science mech. He adds shields and can fly, so I used it as a science mech. Also that I'm taking a lot of damage, but at least I'm not getting on fire. I wanted them to hit each other, of course, but I don't think I could have done that. But so I just took the damage since I have the extra HP. But yeah, we have the Hornets on one side, luckily they don't seem to be targeting the robots, otherwise that would be impossible to solve. Also we have the mines, which can help, but yeah, without the shielding this mission would have been done, would have been a reset. So not as bad as R.S.T, but pretty bad, especially as it is the third, in my opinion, the second and third island. But the third island is the worst one. Then the second, if you get the right, I guess, equipment choices, then the fourth is very easy. And the first depends on the pilot, I guess, more, since you don't have extra weapons. Depend on the squads. So yeah, for example, I could not beat R.S.T with the Rift Walkers and Ralph as a first island. It's just too much threats. But yeah, the shields perfectly placed saved us, and now I cannot use it. Oh, actually, I think the shield, the projectile from that goes through friendly units, so not only adds a shield to building, but also ignores friendly units, which, yeah, very helpful. Again, just using the extra HP until the end, because I wanted the Beetle to block, but of course, if he blocks, if he's on F1, he would have run to C1, so no block. So yeah, now I'm using Harold because the Hornets are went back to my side. So I'm keeping every turn, I'm pushing the Hornets left and right. But that's only because, well, they destroyed one mine. But that's only because there's room left and right. So if there's a map with no room left and right, then yeah, it's impossible to defend without, I guess, a 4 damage punch. Yeah, so there I wanted the shield, but I didn't really need it because, yeah, I can kill without even moving. So perfect teamwork, and surprisingly it went much better than expected. But now we get another endless 4 mech damage, which is almost as good as the well, not as good as the one with the block, because because we want to block usually, but in this case there are the special mission with the frozen Vec, and the frozen Vec, yeah, don't have anything to block, so no reason to I guess lose our HP unless I hit my own mech. That I did it on purpose, so I was a bit worried because of the timing, but yeah, getting rid of that was my priority. Unfortunately, again, Prospero should have been on the other path, so Harold is confused, but yeah, the punch mech is completely blocked. They should have thought about that, so that was a dumb mistake, but I managed to get out of that thanks to the shield again. And yeah, the hardest part I found, again, I have no experience with speedruns, but yeah, now I'm want to get rid of the blobber, but I cannot go around. The hardest part was adapting to the new weapons, because if you're trying to move fast and you get a new weapon, you need to stop for a second to think, what am I doing? But I don't know if I want to. I can try, if they're interesting to watch, I could try other I guess other type of speedruns. Yeah, priority always to make an interesting video. And now I'm shielding because I don't have anything to do. Just waited for the Beetle to hit that. Perfect placement, and yeah, these are usually the best missions you can get on Zenith. On Pinnacle, I always call it Zenith, which is the name of the robotic CEO. But yeah, using starting to get used to Harold after, I guess, 2 years without using him, because yeah, I started a new save file, and when I started this channel, and I never got him until now. So that's why this is a bit of the end of the journey for this finale of this 100% playthrough, even though I'd like to get hard win on every length with every squad. We'll do it in time. Unfortunately, I still Harold proved useful, but I should have swapped. Also, I should have swapped Prospero. I mean, I should have swapped Ralph anyway. So now I'm a bit worried about this Trident attack, and not something you see every day. 3 beetles charging at you without a drop of water in sight. So yeah, that's the final mission, alright. And yeah, my priority would be to destroy the Beetle leader. I'm worried that I can that I get yeah, I get one of my mech destroyed. I think it deals just 3 damage, but it also burns the tiles behind him. I don't think it burns the one hit. Yeah, I ended up with using that, using the Psion to block him, so I get rid of that, and I can take 3 damage, get 1 extra damage, even though, yeah, for later I guess. The Vec are recycling the Vec, and yeah, that Beetle are just 1 HP now. That's why it's important to remove the Psion. So now I can just snipe him from afar if I need it, yeah, like this. Also the Beetles, yeah, I meant to stun it for research, not to kill it. Harold keeps his personality. I guess we haven't seen it here, but yeah, the Beetles are hitting each other, but I would like to end up on the spawn tiles, but yeah, it's not going to happen. So I added some shields. I didn't, at least the new things are on fire, and yeah, that's why I let it happen, because, well, I didn't count the block, but I thought, yeah, with the fire the leader would be dead anyway, so I don't need to worry about that, even though I'm yeah, not sure what to do again. But yeah, that's very tiring actually, trying to play fast into the breach. But yeah, 2 turns, priority was to block, and I guess to be enough to take care of the blobber. The shield paid off, even the weird shield on the... So there are some items, buildings, especially the aliens, the Vec, not aliens, the insects from below the deep crust, earth crust, are... if you try to add a shield on them, it looks weird. Instead, I guess on the final thing of the island is not too bad. Also, I'm getting many good pilots, but I'm thinking if I want to... Yeah, I like Archie a lot, but for this mission, for this far away, we already have our max level pilots, so the only way was to remove Ralph. So I wanted to add some extra challenge, just to keep Ralph, just for old time's sake. And I found a ranged weapon from the smoke squad, so I'm going to use it, because yeah, it's much more powerful. Also leaving smoke behind, but they're not transforming into them, not transforming into the rusting hooks. Finally, I put Prospero in the right spot. Prospero makes more sense on the punch mech, as needs more mobility, because he's going to punch harder, much harder. So the other 2 are still one damage, but I guess it's a good time to explain how I ended up doing this. So first I wanted to practice for a perfect 30k run, and I thought, what could I do to spice it up? So I wanted to try to keep Ralph, then do the island in order, but then I found that it was much harder than I expected with the rift workers, And so I decided to try to play fast to practice and maybe keep, the good attempt. But yeah, it ended up taking a while, so around 5 attempts per run. So what I did was just, well, actually, the last island I got it first try, but I forgot to press record, so I had to repeat. Instead, the R.S.T needed, I guess, probably 10 tries, 15 maybe. So that was by far the toughest one. So I thought, if I'm taking so much time just completing, getting a perfect 30k, is it worth it to try another 25, 50 times to get the perfect thing, or to do a long 5 hours run? Also, we got the mech coming out from acid. They said that they're adapted to acid, but they're not very adapted to acid. If they come out coated in acid, so much easier to kill. But yeah, the crabs over here are a problem, and will be the main problem, I guess. We already got the blobber on the last island. Now the crabs are very tough, because having a double attack, 2 tiles attack, it means you cannot push them back. Well, in this case you can, but yeah, I got hit. So I tried Bethany and already lost power, used the shield. So, well, I guess good thing that I had Bethany in that case. But I was trying to playing a 5-hour run just to try to talk while playing. Added basically 2 hours to my normal runs. Yeah, I'm still practicing talking, but it's been more than 1 year now. And anyway, I decided to try this. I mean, if it is something interesting, I can try it with different squads and then compare it. Acid makes dealing with the crabs much easier, but yeah, I prioritize the Psion now. The objectives are just take less than 3 damage, so nothing to worry about. And yeah, we have very limited damage capabilities. There's still 1 damage on the cannon mech. Instead, the extra weapon with the smoke deals 2 damage, and then +1, I guess, with the cores. But yeah, the punch mech is still our main damage dealer, so yeah, now 2 damage doesn't matter. But I wouldn't be able to do that from that side. I would have needed, with the standard weapon, I needed to damage the mech. Also, if I punched the mech on acid in that direction, it would have destroyed. So the corpse does not destroy the pod, the acid does. So if you punch it directly from F3 to G3, it will get destroyed. But yeah, dealt with the crabs. Now the issue is that the leapers are webbing me, and looks like Prospero's learned a thing or two, so I think we got the max level, yes. And also a targeted strike, which I think I'll add later. But yeah, the conveyor belt and kill 7 enemies. Kill 7 enemies is not a good thing for us. And yeah, added more damage because we really need it to kill 7 enemies. Also, I'm clicking without. I should have checked the map first. So to try to make it fast, I'm just clicking immediately. Instead, normally I would look at the map, because yeah, we have similar objectives, but one map might be much easier than other. And while Bethany is very optimistic, we'll be out of the team very soon. But the situation is not too helpful, because this map, it ends up either you have the Hornet, which go in the corner, the H8 corner, or that nearby, to destroy that buildings, or the action is all on the same spot over here. So I've damaged the crab so that the Firefly could take care of it, and that's yeah, very helpful. And again, I'm considering the turn order something that I never did basically when I played with the Rift workers, but I guess that's learning. And we are using actually Bethany in this situation because we need to block. So the fireflies are the, as we saw when I tried the funny take no damage thing. Also, I'm resetting again, which I would like to avoid it because it rolls back the clock of the game time. So the actual time is the one shown on the YouTube video, not on the game time. But yeah, it doesn't matter since it's a segmented speedrun. But it doesn't matter since I don't think anyone have tried or probably will never try the SpeedRalph, the hard Ralph speed challenge or whatever you can call it. But yeah, I don't like the reset, but the faster you play, the more you reset. Usually I don't reset at all because I think about all the moves before, like in chess. Chess you do one move at a time, but it's the same principle. You need to think about the implication. There I added just a smoke, doesn't matter at all. But yeah, I'm a bit worried about the enemies. So without the 4 damage on the punch, I don't think we could have done that. So last time the MVP was the cannon mech with the shields. Also, it seems that I can, I cannot kill everyone, but I was worried for a second. I just need to kill 2 of them to win, I guess. So yeah, just one damage on that firefly. But yeah, the fireflies, as we see on the perfect, the perfect pacifist was a different challenge. On the no weapon run, the last video I did into the breach, I just added tried on easy, removed all the weapons and hoped for the best. But yeah, I'm realizing that of course the weirder the challenge, the more you need to depend on luck. So I'm not going to push that too much because it would just try it over and over and over until you get it. So that time I tried I think 20 times on normal and never got lucky enough to get past the second island. So rarely reached the second island. So yeah, of course I did just a 2-iron run. Yeah, after 20 attempts I just did on easy and I got it first try actually. But of course when you try to break the game in this way, the game is not meant to be played like this, so it's understandable. And now the conveyor belts are actually giving me a lot of issues because there's a conveyor belt in C3 that points directly towards the building, which makes this mission much harder than it should be. But yeah, that's I guess the luck part. Also, I'm not sure what I'm doing with that. Oh, of course the other firefly will move up, so I'm just shielding, protecting and shielding. So what in the no weapon run, I just wanted the fireflies because I could stand in the way. So for a game that's based on, well, the original idea was to save the buildings by sacrificing pilots. Only the fireflies do that. So everything else, the artillery, you need to move. But yeah, so the C2 crab, the C2 and C3 are the key tiles on this mission, and yeah, probably the toughest point on the 4th island. So I thought it was already an easy mission. Instead, I was worried a couple of times. So now I cannot put myself in the way because I don't have, I only have 2 HP. So I just take care of that with a punch. 5 fireflies have 5 health, so I need to get a bump to reach 5. But yeah, the ranged mech with the... Still, Harold cannot do much from there, but it helps a lot with the extra damage that you can do with the... I don't remember what it's called, but the smoke ranged weapon, which probably too good because as the with the rusting hooks, he has rusting hooks, not rustling, as the as also the smoke damages. So yeah, I think the next run will be much easier, and I think that was the first or second 30k run I did was with the rusting hooks, well, before recording. But yeah, the crab in C3 is giving me a lot of problems because I don't have enough. With the ranged mech I cannot kill it, and if I do this the cannon mech will get bumped, and I thought, well, I guess we got a shield in both of them so we are fine, but we are not fine because of course I need to deal with the digger, but also the not only I need to deal with the digger, but the firefly behind, the boulder will move away, so we'll get destroyed. Also the cannon mech will die, and everything crumbles if you consider the shields. So that was yeah, surprising. Also it's very starting to get tired, but that's one the turns you need to think for half an hour, and I didn't want to think for half an hour because it would defeat the purpose of doing a speed run, but also I didn't want to reset. So yeah, that firefly gave me many more problems than I thought because the conveyor belt would have pushed it in before, so it would have hit the same building as the cannon mech from the conveyor belt, so one shield would not be enough. But yeah, I'm trying other things, but in the end the main weapon, the basic weapon, just 1 damage but 4 tile displacement, is the one that solved the issue. So should have seen that first, but I was looking now at the secondary weapons more than the first. But yeah, that's the way that the rift workers solve all the problems, just a 4 tile displacement. And yeah, the last one is a lot of stuff in the way, but we got a shield. So again, the conveyor belt in C3 with the boulder is risking damage. So I actually don't remember what I did here, but of course I can take care of the digger with a punch. Yeah, that's what I did. But then I need to get rid of to move these. But yeah, I didn't realize I could just kill them with the bump. So the bump's proving key, and I'm just checking if I needed just the last second. With all that I needed still back of my mind there was still the idea I cannot kill 7 enemies, but luckily with the last with the secondary ranged weapon, which I think will become my first at the end of this island after this success, I managed to do it on the last attempt. And now kill these 7 enemies again, so the Detritus should have been a walk in the park. Instead it's proving to be very tough. But we have got all the alpha vec, not much damage, but yeah, without the rocket artillery, I think it's called, it would have been impossible. So now the shields are not enough. And again, I'm just thinking it's impossible, but then you stop for a while, think about the movement, think about your HP, because of course initially you want to avoid all damage, but this deals more actually than just pushing from the other side. So yeah, the thing, the cannon mech does not need to move, because yes, enough HP. So the shield was enough again, it was the right play. And yeah, the main weapons, the original weapons from the Rift Workers are very basic. I guess that's the point of the Rift Workers. But of course the goal was to prove that your first ever run could be, theoretically could be a perfect one. So yeah, that's the point. Also, just need to push once, and the conveyor belt will do the same, but it's very tempting just to very tempting to block, of course. But yeah, Schmidt got a promotion, Harold, and I think we are now, yeah, all max level. And again, a deadly combination of Hornet and Diggers, but yeah, cannot push away the Diggers. And this is another tough spot. Seems an easy mission, easy turn. Maybe if I had the grappling hook, I guess. I forgot if I have it at that moment. That time, no, I don't. So yeah, with the grappling hook, maybe it would be easier. But yeah, you cannot push the Digger with the boulders. Luckily, I have the shields, so I just realized that if you push the Scarab, then they will just hit each building exactly once, and that's why you can do the shield. Otherwise, of course, it would be impossible, but barely enough room to maneuver, because I need to put my punch mech on the spot of the cannon mech. So I don't think I have dash. Yeah, to get the extra damage, I didn't have dash. So I could have done anyway, but I was not seeing it. I reset, but I didn't need to. The cannon could have gone to C4. But I ended up changing my tactic. Oh, I guess I could not have done that. I had to reset because B7 would have been hit. So the shields would work for one, but not the others. So, well, I guess I understood more when I was playing than when I'm commenting on it. But anyway, now it's the time of fixing, changing everything, changing the loadout to for the final boss. So I added the targeted strike, which is the last resort when you have when you are in trouble. Also, you can block and push from anywhere on the map, but of course just one time. So giving up on the grip thing, device grip, and you're already in trouble. So these Hornets, yeah, the single building, I guess it's very beginner friendly because you just get one damage, but if two Hornets target one building, is still still the 30k run ruined. Also, the Psion is very easy, but if you don't get rid of him soon, the Vec will explode. So yeah, we'll ruin everything. Luckily, that Hornet is attacking me instead of the building, so I can just move away as usual. And yeah, I was testing if they go through boulders, and they can. So that weapon is very overpowered actually. It's not on any starting squad, I think. So it's it's very, I guess, more rare, and or not. Not sure if the starting weapons are stronger or weaker. I guess it depends on the team. But yeah, we have these two Hornets. I'd like 3 Hornets now, luckily the crab is just targeting me, so that makes everything easier. But yeah, it's cool that they go through boulders, go through friendlies, and also goes behind, of course, buildings, and of course the shield if you add the upgrade. But yeah, I killed the Docile Abomination before the Hornet, so the Hornet did not explode. If you do the opposite, of course, it will explode. Now we are done. Thanks to the without this weapon, actually, I don't think I would have done the run because the punch mech is weaker than expected. Yeah, we got it. 30k, also very tempting, the cryo launcher with Prospero, so I already put him on and put Prospero there because that's a pattern I recognize. But first I need to check what's up with the shop. With the perfect island you get very good rewards, not only the pilots but weapons that are better than normal. But I think I've been very unlucky with the regular shops, because yeah, I didn't get much from there. I tried a couple of weapons, but then yeah, they weren't worth it. So yeah, we got the target strike from a pod, I think. So yeah, I'm not buying anything. The only thing was the Astra bomb, which deals 1 damage to as many tiles as you want if you just jump over in a line. That's very helpful at the beginning, but in the final mission everyone will have a lot of HP as it feeds my mech grows strong. And now I'm just thinking who needs more. So yeah, instead of counting exactly the course, I just consider who needs more stuff, and then went in order, and then rethought about the whole thing, losing a couple of minutes, but well, ended up like this. And still Harold on the punch mech, I think it's a good fit, since it will be in the middle of the action. Unfortunately, yeah, it won't be able to run through enemies. Also Eric 1 would be helpful. But yeah, I wanted Prospero on the ranged mech because the combination with the cryo launcher will make this mission well, very easy if everything goes well, I guess. But yeah, with the pylons actually are in a very good spot, so they are just in the corner, so it means that we cannot drown the Vec, I guess, but we can very easily freeze and then get defrosted. So that's a preview, I guess, of the 30k perfect run with the ice mechs, the frozen titans, with Harold, which yeah, I was expecting Harold. I was waiting for Harold just for that, because yeah, it would be too easy if we got Mafan from the strange drop, or by even Kazakh yeah, everything would have been too easy. Instead, I think it's it was I guess a suffered run. It was not. Now we're getting lucky with the positioning of the Vec, but it was not taken for granted at all. Even now I'm stuck again, because yeah, with the Prospero is very good actually, flying mech. Maybe the science mechs are more powerful than the brutes at this point, but the again, I don't need to. We already got the 30k run. Perfect 30k is just the first 4 islands. So technically, I could just take damage here, but I like to keep it, I guess, perfect until the end. So yeah, perfect refers to the objectives. So of course, it's not perfect in that sense, but yeah. The reason I put Prosper over there, which may be a bit wasted, is because I wanted to get on top of the lava But yeah, I realized I just thought that we have the emergency get out of jail free strike from above, and yeah, when you're stuck like this, it's the perfect one. And so yeah, it went really well. So I could use the ranged mech to freeze, especially because the ranged mech does not have the 4-tile displacement to start with. So good thing for that. And now, yeah, if you stay on top of the lava, the ice will break, but the I guess the ice is overpowered enough. But yeah, the ice mech is not flying, otherwise it would be too powerful, but Prospero is perfect. So I wanted to try Harold on that to break free from the acid, because from the ice, because if you play like this if you are able to remove the ice every turn, the ice weapon is very much overpowered because it's meant to be shot every other turn. One turn you repair. So that's why I want to try Harold. It's not as overpowered as Mafan or Prospero, which allows for this. Actually, Prospero allows for this only on lava, so only on this mission. If you do it on ice, I think it will just freeze the tile, if I remember correctly. If you use the ice weapon on top when you are flying on top of ice. But yeah, it's perfect for the lava. So I managed to end this mission without any damage. I think we get another tough turn coming up, but yeah, it's not too bad. I'm already thinking of freezing the leader, of course. That's the best use the freezing ability, but I didn't see any easy way to get defrosted immediately. So I was thinking for a second until I think I realized I checked the turn order, of course, and yeah, I'm taking some damage, but I have it. I realized that I have 5 movement. I didn't see it because it seems too good to be true. But yeah, Prospero, even without flying, just +1 movement, +1 movement, double +1 movement was enough to get to that. And that's the perfect situation because you are on top of the spawn, so you block for free without taking damage, and you can freeze someone else. So I didn't see it first, seems too good. But yeah, the Beetle is still alive, unfortunately, because the rock falls first. And it's also the perfect time to move. So if you if you are frozen on the turn the tentacles arrive, that is the victory in 3 and victory in 1, I think. Turn. Every 2 turns, anyway. The tentacles come from below, so if you're standing on a spawn, the spawn will be destroyed, so you don't need to keep blocking it. Now I just shot because I could, basically. And now the extra damage is making everything too easy. And yeah, I'm thinking because if I do this and push it, I will get killed. So yeah, I have to do the backup of going through, of adding the shield. Of course, you cannot do it. It's not a rock. The Vec on ice is still a Vec. So if I tried from H4 where I could block, it doesn't go through the Vec. But yeah, the Vec is the frozen Vec can attract other Vec, entice other Vec to hit them. So it's relatively easy turn. The bomb can take 3 damage from the crab without an issue. But yeah. And thinking if I can block and get rid of all the Vec, but that wasn't really necessary at all. I could ignore the crab the bomb would take the damage anyway. So nothing to worry about, just overthinking, because at the end Vec essential nutrient dispersed and we end up with the Beetle jumping in lava. And I think, yeah, a couple of spawns, but the Psion is too late. Even if I didn't do anything on this turn, it would be enough. Yeah. So no tentacle, but if the bomb was destroyed, so now the tentacles are coming in a line, but I guess if you destroy the bomb or let the bomb get destroyed, then the cycle will repeat and the tentacles will start targeting again from below. And yeah, I ended up just destroying the Psion, but that was a time waste. That's, yeah, why I not have any practice, any attempt at speedruns before. But yeah, Ralph is happy. So we got new timelines, new discoveries. Yes, Harold, we need to compare and contrast with other squads. Not sure which format is the best, so I've done Flame Behemoth and Judoka by editing it down manually. It took a long time, but I managed to get rid of all the useless transition from 5 hours to just 1, below 1, or just playing fast and then add my commentary later. I have the two options, going with the Rusting Hooks or the Frozen Titans now that I have Harold. I also need to finish Pacifist Chimera Squad. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Take care.